Hello, my friends, and welcome to Scottie the Trainer Tuesdays. I am Scottie the Trainer. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking to you on a series. So the title of this series is going to be 4 Anchors for Life. 4 Anchors for Life. Let me tell you my inspiration for this. My inspiration for this came from a story that I read. So the story is in regards to a ship on the ocean, and it carried about 120 people. So this was a prisoner ship that was run by military police, and they were carrying 120 people, the military police, as well as the prisoners that they were carrying from one land to another. And during that time, they came up on a storm. And as the storm came upon the boat, they had to get close to land as the storm was pushing their boat. It was driving their boat towards land. And as it got close to land, in order to keep the boat from wrecking or crashing onto the shore, the story says that they threw out 4 anchors, 2 from the stern, 2 from the bow of the boat. And the whole intention of the anchors in the middle of the storm was so that the boat would then be anchored and receive some stability during the storm times. And it would keep the seas and the winds from driving the boat onto the shore, causing it to crash and to fall into pieces. So let me stop right here and say, it's very important in this life that we're living, especially in these times, to have anchors in our life. I could ask you the question, I can ask myself the question, what is it that keeps you anchored? What is it in your life when the storms are raging, when the wind of adversity is blowing, when the storms of life are rocking your boat from one side to the other, when your safety and your security is troubled? What is it that causes you to throw out the anchors? And what are those anchors in your life? Well, I don't know what they may be, and we could have 1,001 different answers, and they could all be true. But I want to, over the next few weeks, I want to challenge you, I want to motivate you, inspire you, educate you, give you proper self-help to cause you to think about these 4 anchors that I want to bring to your attention. So let's talk about the first one here today. The first anchor in life that I think is very important in the storms is to have, number 1, a strategy. Number 1, have a strategy. Do you know that every major war that the United States has been in, where we have found victory, came because there was a winning strategy? Think about it. The stories of General MacArthur, the historic stories of General Patton, the men that faced down an enemy that was trying to wreck the world and ruin the world, the times of Tojo from Japan and Hitler from Nazi Germany, that was trying to rule and wreck and destroy and even did bring terrible death and desolation. Do you know that somebody somewhere had a strategy? A strategy, a plan. What was going to happen? What would we do in case A? What can we do in case B? A strategy, a plan. Mark Twain said it like this. He said, "A man without a plan is not a man." I have to tell you in my own life, I get irritated sometimes when I walk into a certain place or maybe even at work, and I might ask a team member or someone, hey, listen, what's your plan for today? What's your strategy for today? And they say, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to go with the flow. Let me tell you something. Going with the flow will work for some time, but eventually you have to have a plan. Think about it. Even when it comes to working out, if you want a proper, well-rounded routine, you do something different for each day. One day is for cardio. Another day is for muscle work. Another day is for stretching. Another day is leg day. Another day is for bench pressing. There's something different for every single day. It's a strategy. It's a plan that you put into motion. And we are living in such a time today that strategies really should not be a problem when you think about it. Let's say you say to yourself, let's use the workout. Maybe you say, you know what, I want to join the gym. You don't have to go very far to find one. Right outside from your house or where you work or your favorite restaurant. Probably not too far. If you walk down the street, you're going to pass a gym. You don't even have to leave and go outside. You can pick up your phone, type in closest gym to me, and guess what? You're going to find 4 or 5 gyms that are somewhere near you. We can put together a strategy. Maybe you want to eat healthier. You don't have to go find a nutritionist. Used to be, once upon a time, people would ask, hey, could your doctor recommend a nutritionist to me? Now all you got to do is go to YouTube and type in how to eat healthy, recipes for healthy eating, Google, Facebook. All you got to do is type it in. You will get a strategy. So strategies abound all around us. It's time for us to put together a plan. I don't know about you, but for me, I love being able to mark things off of a list. As a trainer, I do this for my classes. When they come in each day, I have a plan, and I write those things up on the board. And as I'm able to accomplish them and train them in those things and teach those on those things, I erase them. And it gives me a sense of accomplishment. It also causes the class to realize, look how far we came in a few hours. I remember one time somebody came in on day 4 or 5 of training. They looked up on the board and they go, Scottie, are we going to get through all of those today? I said, absolutely we will. By the time training had ended that day, every one of those were erased. They said, I never would have thought we could have got through those. A strategy. At least it puts a plan in place for you. A very wise and successful businessman said to me one time, he said, Scottie, let me tell you something. It's better to have a bad plan than no plan at all. It's better to have some strategy than no strategy at all. I said, I don't know if I believe that. He said, well, think about this. A bad strategy can be adapted to something better. But if you have no strategy, when you hit up against a wall, you absolutely have nothing to fall back on. Think about our kids in school, even now. My kids are in high school or junior high. Do they have one teacher anymore that teaches one class? No. They go to several different teachers. This teacher is in charge of science. This teacher's in charge of homeroom. This teacher's in charge of math. There's the coach that teaches during PE. It's all about strategies. One of the anchors that is very important in life is to put together a strategy. It doesn't have to be a massive strategy. The questions that people ask sometimes, what are you going to do and where will you be in the next 5 years? Sometimes you don't have to think that far. What are you going to do in the next 24 hours? Once you accomplish those strategies, you can move to the next 24 hours. Because remember, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. I want to challenge you today. The 4 anchors that we're going to talk about, The first one is very important. Throw it out over the bow. Put together a strategy. Ask yourself 3 questions. 1, where am I now? 2, where do I want to be? Number 3, what steps do I have to take to get closer to where I want to be? All of us have the person that people think we are. Then there's the person that we really are. Are you happy with the person you really are? Or do you like the person that people think you are? What steps can you take? Strategize, put together a plan to get closer to the person that you want to be. It's the first anchor in life. Next week, join me. We'll talk about the second anchor that's very important. But you can't do anything without a strategy. You do it when you get ready to take a trip, don't you? You Google, you MapQuest. You've got that voice that comes on that tells you, take a left. In the next half mile, take a right. In the next half mile, stop at the stoplight. It tells you where to go. We do it every single day for trips, for plans, for what we want to do. Why not do it for yourself? The first anchor that will keep you from wrecking on the shores of life is to put together a strategy. I'm Scottie the trainer. I hope this has been beneficial for you, and I'll see you next week for the second anchor in life. And as always, my friends, that's how I see it.